got you covered. This is 19 News at 5.
Students at State Road Elementary hold a special crowdfunding event. In California, the devastation continues as raging wildfires burn, fueled by gusting Santa Ana winds. And a plea is entered in the Fountain City case involving a discovered corpse. Good afternoon, welcome. Thank you for watching. I'm Roger Staffaroni. Heather has the evening off. We begin with a shooting that happened early this morning in Onalaska. Now, according to Onalaska Police Chief Charles Ashbeck, police were called to the 600 block of Quincy Street for the domestic incident that turned into a shooting around 2 a.m. Deputies arrived to find a man and woman, both with gunshot wounds, but both were conscious and able to speak with authorities. According to Ashbeck, both were treated at a local hospital. One person suffering life-threatening injuries. No arrests or charges have yet been made. There is no threat to the public, and the investigation is ongoing. The suspect in a Minnesota bank robbery is arrested in Monroe County. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office assisted the Bloomington Police Department in finding 51-year-old Corey Billstrom, who was wanted for a bank robbery. Their police say that they located Billstrom outside of a home in Wilton, and he was taken into custody. He is currently in the Monroe County Jail, awaiting extradition to face those bank robbery allegations. And the man accused of hiding his wife's body in the Fountain City trailer home that they shared is entering a not guilty plea due to mental disease or default. Arthur McMullen is accused of leaving his wife's body in their bathroom after she died of natural causes. When police found her body, it had been determined she had been dead for about 6 weeks. He is facing charges of hiding a corpse. The home was also filled with more than 70 cats and dogs in different states of neglect, which added the charge of mistreatment of animals. McMullen is due back in court on February 5th. All right, right now we're going to switch gears and hand it over to meteorologist Jeremy Landgrebe. He is here with La Crosse's first forecast. Jeremy, welcome.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me here and now being here in La Crosse. And so far for today, it's not too bad. I mean, for this time of year, especially 23 degrees. You had those clear skies and that sunshine probably felt really nice today, despite those feels like still in the teens for today. Temperatures all around hitting the same temperatures here in La Crosse. You got 17 Sparta, Viroqua at 18 degrees. You head down to Prairie du Chien at 22. Otherwise, again, we're not feeling too bad for tonight. Winds from the west in La Crosse, but we are moving to the south for tonight. That's not going to help us overnight. We will cool down into close to the single digits at 12 degrees, but it will help us for a bit of tomorrow, mainly giving us some snow chances. We're going to see an approaching cold front move in as we hit 27 degrees, and those snow chances won't just be for tomorrow. We could also see some towards the weekend, of more coming up in the full forecast in about 15 minutes.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Well, destructive, devastating, and now deadly. 4 major wildfires are burning across Los Angeles. ABC's Alex Stone is in Altadena, where officials say that fire is responsible for at least 2 deaths.
An apocalyptic scene in Southern California. Valleys filled with smoke, flames taking over hillsides as at least 4 major wildfires burn out of control. Embers flying all around, pushed by hurricane-strength winds.
Oh, and we have, a partial structure collapse.
This afternoon, we got our first look at the devastation from the air, the winds slowing enough for helicopters to fly safely.
It's Armageddon. I'm driving through a war zone right now, and I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. I'm shocked.
The winds also kept firefighters from launching water-dropping helicopters, people running with buckets of water in their hands, trying to do anything they could to save homes, others rushing to grab any belongings they could. Neighbors tried but could not save the Symington family's home of 24 years.
It makes me want to cry, but it also, in the midst of the dark hour, puts a little ray of love and hope.
All the stuff that's here is replaceable. People are not. What happened to family is the most important thing.
A senior assisted living center destroyed. All of the over 90 residents evacuated safely. Some rushed to safety in wheelchairs.
This is not a normal red flag alert. The LA County Fire Department was prepared for 1 or 2 major brush fires, but not 4.
President Biden is in Los Angeles for an unrelated matter and got an update on the disaster from firefighters. He's also spoken with Governor Gavin Newsom.
We're prepared to do anything and everything in the long it takes to contain these fires and
help reconstruct, make sure that we get back to normal.
Now, in addition to the wind, the lack of rain in the last 8 months has created very dry conditions, adding fuel for the flames. California National Guard teams have now been called up to help. A record-breaking year in 2024 for Amplify Gunderson Health System. They shared that information at a news conference this morning. Our own Crystal Flintrop was there and has the details.
The president of the Gunderson region of Amplify Health sharing that trauma and emergency services had a record-breaking year last year, serving 189,000 patients. That's over 6,000 more patients than 2023, 24,000 more than 2022, and 63,000 more than in 2020. The La Crosse location is the region's only Level 2 trauma and emergency center, meaning they provide comprehensive care 24 hours a day. The hospital has a few reasons for seeing such a substantial increase in 2024.
The population is getting aging and growing. Maybe patients are waiting longer to be seen, and so they're arriving to, sicker than in the past. There's changes in insurance provisions, some of which can make it a little easier for people to get into urgent care. Behavioral health increased needs across our region.
He adds they're expecting this number to increase even more this year. And to meet the need of this increased patient load, Gunderson is expanding services, hiring more staff, adjusting hours to meet the times of peak demand while advocating for prevention. They say this is also an opportunity to encourage the community to establish primary care providers, which can help with wait times or even provide a virtual meeting.
All right. Well, thank you, Crystal. Dr. Orozco says that the closures of multiple major healthcare facilities in the state might also have an influence on this increase. Well, January 9th has been declared a day of mourning as the nation honors the late former president, Jimmy Carter. The official state funeral for Carter will be held at the Washington National Cathedral, and as a result, the U.S. Postal Service will not be delivering mail. The U.S. Supreme Court, stock market, and government offices will also be closed. The last time a National Day of Mourning was held was in December of 2018, following the death of former President George H.W. Bush. And the waterfront has yet again the site of a Launch and Learn this afternoon put on by the League of Women Voters. And the Lunch and Learn was themed United States and Wisconsin Constitutions Under Fire and looked at amendments made to both. It also looked at opportunities and challenges related to the amending the state constitution and what happens during a constitutional convention. Emily Lau, the guest speaker, explained what she wanted those in attendance to take away.
What I hope that people take away is that constitutional amendments and a potential constitutional convention isn't something that we need to be afraid of. It's something that we can embrace as part of the democratic process, but also that it's really important that as involved citizens and voters that we pay attention to these issues.
If you are looking to attend one of these events, the League of Women Voters will hold a webinar on February 12th at 7 p.m. focused around civic engagement. And tonight we are learning of the candidates running for a La Crosse school board. There are 3 seats up for election this spring. Meredith Garcia is the only current board member that is vying for re-election. Joy Beckman, Molly Fuchs, Adam Hoffer, Kevin Hunt, Jeff Jackson, and Sam Morris are the other 6 candidates in the race. A primary election will be held on February 18th to reduce that number of candidates down to 6. Those who advance from the primary move to the spring elections on April 1st. And students at State Road Elementary are making their school better and using their votes to decide just how to do it. Inspired by the community crowdfunding group La Crosse Soup, the 5th graders pitched 14 different possible ways to spend $250. Each group or person gave a complete presentation to the school, staff, and family members in the audience. Ideas range from a lounge room, a tetherball pole, new soccer nets, and something called the Buddy Bench. A total of 14 project proposals were given and every 5th grader participated.
It's really nerve-wracking. I've been up there once or twice before, but once again you get through it. It's kind of easy at the end. And overall I had fun making the idea with my friends. I feel proud along with my friends.
Once all 14 pitches were made, the entire school took time to vote, and when the votes were tallied, the winner was Celebration Supermarket, a project aimed at helping families getting food if needed. And the La Crosse area Family YMCA announced earlier this week that they received an additional gift of land for a future project. The Y's CEO, Bill Soper, said that Thora Development donated 3.5 acres of land in Holmen in the McElvery Park subdivision, which is worth nearly $1.5 million. It's the same area where 6 acres were donated back in October of 2022.
While we don't have a timeline and we haven't started fundraising yet, we do have a group that is studying the site, studying the needs in the community, trying to determine what can we build up there that the community of Holmen and surrounding communities would want and would complement what we've got now at the Hauser Y and the Dahl Ys.
Soper urges Holmen area residents to share any wants or needs for the upcoming project at this location. And a large-scale harvest and construction project is underway in Eagle River. It's all being done to make the always popular ice castle. Dozens of Eagle River firefighters began chopping up blocks of ice on Silver Lake today. Then a convoy of pickup trucks transported them into town. They say about 2,200 blocks will be used to build the 28-foot tall structure in town.
Oh, it's perfect this year. I mean, 25 degrees, is perfect temperature for working, and the ice blocks will freeze real nice, so it's absolutely perfect.
They will work on building the castle this week and into the weekend, and by Sunday, they expect it to be complete.